Welcome to Designing Your Future Self, a show I've been bringing to podcast listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and that I'm so excited to finally bring to YouTube in a brand new video format. We have 52 powerful episodes ahead of us built around the SOAR method, and I cannot wait to go on this journey with you. I'm Andrea C. McLean, executive and career coach, and creator of the SOAR method and the FLAP method. This season, every episode is built around one theme designed to help you shift your mindset, overcome your challenges, activate your plan, and reflect and refine your path forward. And I want to start with the most important episode I could think of, because without this one, nothing else works. Today we're talking about limiting beliefs. Specifically, how to identify them, where they come from, and how to break free from them so you can reclaim the inner power that has been yours all along. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Designing Your Future Self podcast with Andrea C. McLean.
Let me start with a question. Is there a story that you're telling yourself about what's possible for your career that might not actually be true? Something like, I'm not ready yet. I don't have the right credentials. People like me don't get to that level. I missed my window. Those are limiting beliefs, and they are extraordinarily common, especially among high-achieving professionals who are, by every objective measure, more than ready for their next level. Here's what makes limiting beliefs so insidious. They don't feel like beliefs. They feel like facts. They feel like an accurate assessment of reality. And that is exactly what makes them so powerful and so dangerous. A limiting belief is any thought, story, or assumption about yourself or the world that constrains what you believe is possible for you. It lives in the background of your mind, quietly filtering every opportunity, every risk, every decision you make. And here's what I've seen in 35 years of corporate leadership and through my executive coaching. The gap between where most professionals are and where they deserve to be is not a skills gap. It is not an experience gap. It is a belief gap. So where do these beliefs come from? They come from three main sources. The first is early experiences. Something that happened to you. A teacher who told you that you weren't leadership material. A parent who cautioned you not to aim too high. A childhood experience that taught you it wasn't safe to be seen. These experiences plant seeds that grow into beliefs we carry into our professional lives without ever even examining them. The second is repeated messages. Things you heard over and over again about money, about ambition, about what people like you are allowed to want. Repeated messages become internalized beliefs, and internalized beliefs become invisible operating systems running in the background of every decision that you make. The third, and this one is particularly relevant for the professionals that I work with, is past setbacks. A promotion you didn't get, a project that failed, a moment where you put yourself forward and it didn't go the way you hoped. Our brains are wired to protect us from pain. So after a setback, the mind creates a story to prevent it from happening again. That story often starts with, I'm not, or I can't, or I shouldn't. And over time, that story becomes a belief. The important thing to understand is this. None of these sources make the belief true. They make it understandable. They make it human, but they do not make it true. So how do you identify the limiting beliefs that are operating in your own life? I want to give you 3 powerful questions to sit with, and I encourage you to write your answers down. This is exactly the kind of work we do in my Promotion Ready Leader Workbook, and also in my coaching practice. Question 1. Where in your career are you playing small? Where are you holding back, staying quiet, not putting yourself forward? The places where you are playing small are almost always the places where a limiting belief is operating. Question 2. What do you believe you have to be, do, or have before you deserve the next level? I need more experience. I need another degree. I need to wait until the kids are older. These conditions we place on our own worthiness are limiting beliefs in disguise. Question 3. What would you do differently if you knew you couldn't fail? The gap between your answer and your current reality is often the exact space where your limiting beliefs live. Write those answers down. Be honest with yourself. And then look at what you've written and ask, is this actually true? Or is this a story I've been telling myself for so long that it feels true? That question, is it actually true, is one of the most powerful tools in the SOAR method. Because most of the time, when we examine our limiting beliefs with that level of honesty, we find that they are not facts. They are stories, and stories can be rewritten. So how do you break free? The first step is awareness. You cannot change what you cannot see. The work you just did with those 3 questions is the beginning of awareness. Name the belief. Write it down. Say it out loud if you can. Bringing a limiting belief into the light is the first act of reclaiming your power. The second step is to challenge it. Ask, where did this belief come from? Is it based on facts or fear? What evidence exists that might contradict this belief? Who would I be without this story? The third step is to replace it. And this is not toxic positivity or pretending everything is fine when it isn't. This is consciously choosing a more empowering and more accurate story to replace the one that has been holding you back. For example, I'm not ready yet becomes I am ready and I'm continuing to grow. People like me don't get to that level becomes I am exactly the kind of leader who belongs at that level. I missed my window becomes my window opens when I decide it does. Write your new belief down. Say it every day. Act from it, even before it feels completely true. Because here's what I know. Action comes before belief. You do not have to feel confident to act confident. You do not have to feel ready to move forward. You act your way into the belief, not the other way around. And the fourth step, and this is the one that most people skip, is to get support. Share your new belief with someone who will hold you accountable to it. A mentor, a coach, a trusted colleague. We are not designed to do this work alone. The leaders who break through their limiting beliefs fastest are the ones who have someone in their corner reminding them of who they are becoming. So here's your assignment before next week's episode. Identify one limiting belief that has been quietly operating in your career. Write it down. Challenge it with the 3 questions that we covered today. And write your new empowering belief to replace it. Then take one action this week that your old belief would have stopped you from taking. That is how you begin to reclaim your inner power. If this episode resonated with you, I want to invite you to 2 things. First, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a single episode of Season 2. We have 51 more powerful conversations ahead of us. Second, if you are ready to take this work deeper right now, my Promotion Ready Leader Workbook is available for $47, and it walks you through the mindset work, the strengths diagnostic, and the 90-day action plan to position yourself for your next promotion. The link is in the description. I believe in your future self, and I will see you next Wednesday.